Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. It is the capital city of the province of British Columbia. I hope everybody has had a great week. I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend. Welcome to this live session of IELTS listening, part 3, part 4. Listening to university class syllabus conversation between a student and a professor about the syllabus, and also listening to part 4, some information about the famous dinosaur Tyrannosaurus Rex. Welcome Chen, our chat moderator, here to help us keep it clean, keep it focused on IELTS. Welcome Alexei Philo Bogdan and other members. Good to see you in the class. And welcome Nipa, Riyad, Harjat, Aliasgar. Nice to have many of our subscribers with us. Students, this is a subscribers chat class, so you need to subscribe to our channel to join the chat. It's free, it's worth it. You get notifications of our video releases and tips for your IELTS exam to get those better band scores. This lesson, this listening material is brought to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are our websites that power our live lessons. This is our academic IELTS website here. We will use this in a few minutes for the listening audio. Click this big red button that's just above my head there to join the premium IELTS package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We're an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. We've been helping students with IELTS for over 15 years, so you're in great hands with us. For general IELTS students, it's gieltshelp.com. General IELTS listening, academic IELTS listening sections are the same. To join the general IELTS, click this red button that's just right above there, above my head. And again, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Students, we've got apps for you as well. To get our apps, go to your app store, get Academic IELTS Help, get General IELTS Help, and link the app to the web accounts. Instagram, IELTS_AHelp, GIELTS Help. We are arguably the world's most advanced online IELTS course. We've got all of the tools online for you to succeed. If you have questions about any of this, just send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com, admin@aehelp.com. Amazon has also our exams. You can get the exam books by searching for these titles: AE Helps Academic IELTS and GE Helps General IELTS. AJ, I'm not sure where Sarah is. She's probably busy with some of her studies and other life tasks as well. It's nice to have our moderators when they're available, right, Chen? It's great to have you here. Okay. Students, streaming schedule. So we just finished reading. We're doing listening right now. Tomorrow we've got speaking, part 2 and part 3. And then no classes on Saturday and Sunday. On Sunday and Monday there's no class. Correction, tomorrow's Saturday, we have class. And then on the 14th we're doing speaking part 1, and we've got an exciting class on the 16th. I will have a guest with me. He is a former IELTS examiner. You will be able to ask him lots of questions. All right, students, we just released a new reading video. It's very popular. It's very informative. Check it out. It's right here. I'll put it into the chat. It basically tells you that skimming and scanning are not the greatest strategies for the reading section. There are better strategies, and it explains those strategies. So list of headings and so on. Check it out. Okay. Listening strategies. We're in listening here, of course. We're going to listen. I'm going to explain strategies to you as we listen. The first strategy that is really important when you're doing listening, especially sections or part 3 and 4. Part 3 and 4 are more challenging than part 1 and 2, so each part gets more and more difficult. The topics get more difficult. The questions get more difficult. The paraphrasing gets more difficult. So the listening increases in difficulty. It's 40 questions, and as it progresses, it becomes more challenging. Okay. All right. So for part 3 and 4, here's the first tip for you. Okay, tip. When you listen, visualize, and include yourself. Okay, so when you hear the student talking to the professor, become the student, become the professor. Okay, so be a part of the listening. Don't just think about it like, there's a couple of people over there talking to each other and I'm just kind of listening to what they're saying. If you do that, your brain kind of shuts off, or it's not able to process the information at its best. So you want to be a part of it. I actually said the same in the last class. So if some of you were in the last class in reading, I kind of said the same, right? We were talking about the WHO pandemic, and you remember I was the person who got bit by the chihuahua. So be a part of the information. It's super important, okay? So be a part of that information that you're learning and that you're processing. Extremely important. Okay. Hi, Eugene. Love the emojis. I'm doing good. Thank you. Okay. All right. Students, let's get into listening. Let's just do this. Let's jump right in to the listening test. We'll listen, we'll answer, and then I will go over the answers with you together. Now, the trick here, everyone, is don't put your answers into the chat. Give everybody a chance so we're not confusing each other with wrong answers. And then we'll go through the answers together. Okay? All right. So this is our second exam in your exam book for those of you who have access to the premium version. Okay? And as you can see, it says here section 3. IELTS now calls it part 3 instead of section 3 to make it less confusing with the listening, with the reading, writing, speaking. So we're into part 3 here. This is CD2 and track 3 in your premium course, playing off your website. Okay, so again, this is the website. You join it by clicking the big red button. Again, you just pay once and you have access forever. If you lose access, let us know, right? Sometimes that can happen, updating servers, etc. And we can always help you out. So you go to your My Student account, you go to your audio CDs, and this is going to be CD2 track 3. So everybody get ready to listen. If you've got a headset, use it. In the IELTS, you use headsets usually. Answer while you listen, and we'll go through the answers together after. Here we go, everyone.
Now turn to section 3. Take some time to look at questions 21 to 26. Listening section 3. You will hear a student and her professor talking about their class. Now listen carefully and answer questions 21 to 26.
Come in, Laura.
Thanks a lot for making the time to see me, Professor Gorman. As I mentioned in my email, I've been very ill this past week, and missing the first week of school is not a good way to start the term.
Indeed, it's not a very good start at all, but I think you can overcome it. You had a good grade in my course last term, and I'm sure this absence is just a bump in the road as far as this term goes. Now, what would you like to discuss?
Well, I don't even have a syllabus, so maybe you could give me one and then we could go over it in some detail.
Yes, that would be sensible. Let me grab your syllabus. Here you go. As you see, the class meets each Monday and Thursday from 10 to 11:30 in room A313 of the Juliet building. Do you know where that is?
Yes, the Juliet building is right next to the Student Union building, correct?
Yes, that's right. Okay, so next are my office hours. I hold them each Monday and Wednesday from 2:30 to 4 in the afternoon. If these do not work for you, feel free to send me an email and we can make arrangements to meet at another time. Now, let's discuss the books you'll need. As you see on the syllabus, there are 2 books you'll need for this course. You need not purchase either of them, however, as there are several copies of each available in the library.
I like keeping my books for future reference, so I would prefer to buy both books. Are they available in the bookshop?
The first one is, but the second one must be purchased from Buster's Books. Do you know where Buster's Books is located?
Roughly, but do you have an address?
Yes. The address is 3419 Young Street in Brighton.
Right, I know where that is. Do you know how much the books cost, approximately?
I think the one at the university bookshop is about £20 and the one at Buster's is about £15. So that's a total of £35 for the 2 of them.
You now have some time to look at questions 27 to 30. Now listen to the rest of the discussion and answer questions 27 to 30.
Great. Can we talk a little about the coursework required?
Of course. There are 2 essays, 1 midterm exam and 1 final exam.
Wow, that's a lot of coursework.
Yes, but at this level I don't believe in just having 1 essay or 1 final exam determine your entire mark in a class. I like arranging it so that a student can have a chance to reflect on their ability and understanding of materials throughout the term.
That makes sense. So what are the percentages associated with each assignment and exam?
The first essay is worth 15%, the second is worth 25%, the midterm exam is worth 20%, and the final exam is worth 40%. Would you like to talk about the first essay? It is due next Friday.
Yes, could we?
Of course. The essay should be approximately 1,500 words and the topic must be chosen from the list.
And can I get a copy of the list?
There is one attached to your syllabus.
Right. So do we have to tell you what topic we are writing on beforehand?
No, it's all right. You only have to notify me if you want to do a topic that is not on the list.
Right. Is the essay due in class or can we submit it by email?
I will accept essays without penalty until midnight after the class it's due. So yes, you can submit it by email, hand it in during class or submit it to the department office. If you submit it to the office, make sure to get a timestamp put on it so that I can be sure the paper was submitted on time. And also, be sure to make...
That is the end of section 3. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, check those answers in that 30 seconds. It's very important. Let me just hop back here, stop the audio. There we go. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. And now we'll go over the answers together and figure out what were the correct answers or what are the correct answers and why, and some strategies that we could use in the listening section to help us get more of those marks. All right. So number 21, why does the student go to see the professor? What's the reason? A, she has been in the hospital. B, she has been ill. C, she registered late. A, B, or C? B, yes, she has been ill. So she says that she has been sick. She doesn't actually say, I've been to the hospital. So don't assume. Never assume information. Okay? It's very important. It's a tip. Be careful. She has been ill. Okay? Now, we have to fill out this course syllabus. So for those of you who are in university, you know this already. For those of you getting ready for university, you need to know this, or you should know this. Every class begins with a class syllabus. The syllabus is basically the instructional sheet for the class. It tells you who your professors or professor assistants are. It tells you the main topics that will be discussed, the due dates of the major assignments. So that's your class syllabus, and that class syllabus should always go in the first page of your class notebook, if possible. I guess sometimes these days they're digital, so you'll have them digitally. All right, so let's do this. Class times. So here it's something and something, and we can tell that because this is a day, it's Thursday, this should probably be a day as well. And many of you are saying, well, that day is Monday. Yeah. Now, Janak, if you write Monday with a small m, you'll get that wrong, right? So it has to be Monday. Days of the week are proper nouns. So it's very important that you use a capital M. And this is where a lot of students ask me, can I write all capitals? Yes, you can. So you can do it like this. And they'll take that. You can even write abbreviations. So you can go MUN like that. And they'll take that as well. Okay. All right. Location. Shai4 believes that the location is Juliet. Juliet is a fairly common name. It's Juliet, or like this. Either one. So the English spelling or more of the French spelling for the origin, right? The name comes from French more. Juliet. Both are okay as long as you have a correct spelling for the name. All right. So as long as you have the correct spelling, you'll get it right. Now, names are the same as days of the week. It has to be a capital J. Okay? And Artie is asking, is Julia okay? No. So if you write Julia or Julie, these will be marked wrong. You can't nickname a building, and Julia is a different name. Okay. All right, now here, question 24, it's the actual category, right? So the category here, as AJ is saying and Babita is saying, is office hours, not office hour. Okay. AJ, if you write office hour, you'll get it wrong. Andrew, good luck on your test tomorrow. Andrew, make sure that when you get your results over the next few days, let me know how you did. I'm really curious. I would love to get your feedback and testimonial. Okay, Andrew? So let me know. All right. Students, office hours. Why? You have to have that S. If you don't have that S, it's wrong. You can actually count hours, and in this case, it's multiple hours on multiple days. You've got Monday 2:30 to 4, and you've got Wednesday 2:30 to 4. Okay? Everybody who's got exams tomorrow, good luck on your test. Not just Andrew, but everybody. Okay? Nawakana, Cynthia, good luck on your exam tomorrow. Thanks, Andrew. I look forward to it. Okay? Remember, girls and guys, show up early to your exam. Speak in English a little bit. Do a bit of light reading. Relax. It's not the end of the world. The sun will shine tomorrow. Don't worry too much about it. Okay? It's never good. When I did my driver's test 25 years ago, my road test, I was so nervous that I almost hit a truck. So don't be nervous. It's not good. It doesn't help. Okay? So just stay calm. All right. So here we go. Required books. Now, students, be patient. Listen. Just because you miss an answer doesn't mean you might not get it after, or you might not hear it again. Book 1, book 2. Okay. First one, you've got the cost. And pay attention, especially those of you doing the test tomorrow. You've got the symbol for pounds here, so you don't need the pounds. Okay. So we know that it's 20 pounds. And they say the first book costs 20 pounds. Now, they also say the two books together cost 35 pounds. So if you missed the 20, but you got the 35, you can do some quick math to figure out that 35 minus 15 will equal 20, right? So a little bit of thinking goes a long ways in the IELTS exam. Okay? Same here. Coursework, first essay, 15%. Second essay, what percent? Well, if the midterm's 20 and this is 40, then 15 plus 20 plus 40 equals 75, right? And 100 minus 75 will equal 25. Now again, be careful, students. You've got the percent symbol right there. So you don't need to write the word or the symbol, okay? You do not need to repeat any information that is provided for you in the question booklet or in the questions, okay? In this way, the computer-based exam is usually a bit easier because you usually just click a choice or drag and drop. There's less technical aspect in this case, okay? All right, so what's this last one? Number 28. Final exam. That's right, Fwang. That's right, Shaifur. Yes, your final exam. It's not just final, it's final exam. Okay? Black Panther's like, you missed one question, sir. Yeah, I think it was this one here, right? Number 26. Number 26, the correct answer was Busters. Busters books. That's the best answer. Okay. Now, if you don't have the apostrophe and you just write Busters, right? Buster's books shows possessive, so it belongs to Buster. Buster is the owner of the shop, Buster's books. But here's the good news, students. If you're like, whoa, that's tricky, right? Like I had no idea that it's supposed to have an apostrophe. Good news, in this case, IELTS will take Buster's like this, okay? Because you could argue that it's Buster's books in the sense of the word Buster's with plural rather than possessive, okay? So in that case, Buster's with the apostrophe or Buster's without the apostrophe would be correct. But the best bet is definitely this one here with the possessive, okay? All right, it's a tricky one. Har har, it's definitely not Bastard Book. That would be a pretty strange name for a bookstore. Okay, all right. Students, so far so good. Sometimes in part 3 and in part 4, when, especially in the paper-based exam, when you're answering and the answer seems really easy, pay very careful attention to the spelling and the need for maybe a second word to make it clear. Okay. Sometimes it's a little bit tricky. So I don't want you to think, oh, it has to be something different, but be cautious when the answer seems too easy in part 3 and part 4. Okay. Does that make sense? So don't panic. Don't necessarily change it. Maybe it is just an easy answer. But an important tip is be extra careful in part 3 and part 4 of the listening when the answer seems a bit too easy. You may be missing something. Okay. Does that make sense? Right? So careful with it. Careful. A lot of students are like, oh, that was just easy. And then they realize that they missed the symbol % or the symbol pound wasn't provided. So you need to add that. Okay. So just be really careful. Okay. All right. Harjot says, yeah, that makes sense. All right. Okay. We've got a couple more questions here. So number 29. They talk about that first assignment because it's due soon. How long should the first assignment be? Approximately. Yeah, it's 1,500 words. So here's a good example of where it's easy to make a mistake. If you wrote 1,500, it'll be wrong. Why? So 1,500 is wrong. 1,500 words is correct. Why? Why do you think? Alexi says 1,500 elephants or cats. Harjad says it could be pages. It could be 1,500 what? Right? Yeah, so 1,500, we don't know if we're talking about pages, characters, sentences. So it's unclear, right? It doesn't make sense on its own without words. Okay? So it has to make sense. And then Har says, yes, the instructions here say no more than 2 words. So this is what I mean by if the answer seems too easy, just take a second look. Okay? Make sure that you have enough detail that it makes sense. Okay? In this case, it's 1,500 words. Okay? All right? 1,500 is no good. All right. And then we have this very complicated looking question. And here's another kind of weird situation in the IELTS. When the question looks really complex, like this question 30 here, like just look at the size of that one question. It's like, what? This is called an inference type question. This is where you have to understand several parts of the conversation or the audio, and you have to figure out the answer based on what they're saying, right? So here they say the student's class ends at 11:30 a.m. on the day the paper is due. Decide whether a paper handed in is on time or late. Okay, so the student receives a late penalty, or the essay is on time, no penalty. And then here's the actual, so this is the context, and then this is the situation, right? So context, it's the background, and then here's the situation, the situation. Okay, so the situation is the paper, let me move this up for you a little bit. The paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day, dropped off at the department office with no timestamp received. Is it late penalty or no late penalty? Okay, what do you think? So Anna says B, it's essays on time, no penalty. Riyadh says it's late. Shaifor agrees. Okay. Swamjit says tell again for money. Not sure what that means. Okay. Halyaskar says no late penalty. The answer is, drum roll please. Tan says it's a lifetime imprisonment. No, we're not quite there yet. It's a late penalty. Now, if you're not sure, you should listen again at home. You can't listen again in the real test. And if you do know that the answer is A, then you should be able to tell me why. Why is this paper or this essay late? Okay. Why does the student receive a late penalty? Black Panther, thank you for the drum roll. Deepak says it's because of the timestamp. Remember, I wrote that too. When we were listening, I said stamp. Did you see me write that on the screen? That would be for my notes, right? So the paper is handed in at 5 p.m. the same day. PM, right? PM means in the afternoon. Dropped off at the office with no timestamp. That's the magical part right there. Okay. Think logically. Remember what I said? Put yourself into the situation. If you're the professor, right, and a student drops off the essay at 5 p.m., but there's no stamp, okay? How does the professor know that you didn't actually drop it off the next morning at 7 a.m. when the office opened? Okay, so we don't know, right? And in school, it doesn't work on an honor system. It's not like, but I'm telling you the truth. Sorry, follow instructions. It's a part of the academic process, right? If you don't follow the instructions, it's you don't get it right. So it's kind of a everybody's under the same rule type of situation, right? So yes, Philo, the stamp is official and validates the paper. Okay, all right, so here it's A. All right, students, so pay attention, especially to those negatives, okay? No timestamp. Whenever you see a negative, you should immediately have a kind of a light go off in your head, like, oh, that was a negative, like, know this or know that. And it's like, oh, okay, there's a reason that negative is being emphasized. So, Andrew, others taking the exam tomorrow, they usually have at least one of these kinds of scenarios in part 1, 2, 3, or 4 where there's negative pops up and it's like the inverse of what's going on. So really pay attention to that, okay? So this is another tip to save you a mark on your listening section, okay? Sharpen your ear for negative words like no, not, won't, doesn't. Okay? As these may be indicators for a trickier question. Okay? Everybody got that? Yes? Okay. Hopefully. Sharpen the ears. Like a pencil sharpener. All right. It's an expression in English. Sharpen your ears means listen carefully. Okay. A little bit of vocabulary there for you. Okay, students, how did you do? What did you get from on part 3 from 10. Okay, in part 3, part 4, ideally, in the perfect world, you're trying to get at least 6 correct. At least 6, okay? If you're getting less than 6, it's going to become difficult to get into those higher band scores like 6.57 and so on. So, Fuang, 8 out of 10 is great. Shaifur, 9 is really good. AJ, 7 is solid, okay? Bogdan, 9 is good. Rustam, 8 is good. Ali Asghar, 6 is acceptable, okay, for part 3. Dylan, 9 is very good. All right. Chaitali, 8 is fantastic. Anna, 6 is acceptable. Okay. If it's less than 6, you need to be like, what's going on? All right. Har har, 5. Yep. That would be my emoji too. Like a, okay. All right. Let's jump into the final part 4. Again, students, put your answers on a separate sheet, not in the chat. As you can see, it can be very confusing for other people if you have the wrong answers. So let's jump into it. Back to the website we go. Again, students, we're using aehelp.com. You can also use gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. It will have the same listening. Sign up with the big red button for those premium IELTS packages. They're worth it. We basically have the best value for your dollar. So for spending a few dollars, you get really a lot of help for the IELTS exam. Okay, so here we go. Listening section 4. Let's do it. Listen, answer. We'll go through the answers together after.
Now turn to section 4. Take some time to look at questions 31 to 40. Listening section 4. You will hear a lecture about the dinosaur Tyrannosaurus rex. Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good evening, class. If you are registered for Anthropology 322, you are in the right place. Today we will be talking about the most famous of all dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex, or T-Rex as it is commonly referred to. This dinosaur has a fearsome reputation, mainly due to popular culture films and books. In this class we will be discussing the facts regarding the Tyrannosaurus rex, as opposed to its Hollywood depiction. Tyrannosaurus rex lived from approximately 80 to 65 million years ago. Of course, the reason it died out 65 million years ago is the same reason all of the dinosaurs died out at that time: a massive asteroid which hit the Earth and destroyed almost all life. The period in which the Tyrannosaurus rex lived is known as the Late Cretaceous period. This reality is in contrast to fictional portrayals, which often cast the T-Rex as living in the Jurassic period. In fact, T-Rex did not come to be until 65 million years after the end of the Jurassic period. Tyrannosaurus rex was a meat-eater, but it is not entirely clear whether it killed its own prey or if it merely scavenged the prey of other dinosaurs. In our minds, we imagine T-Rex fighting to the death with other dinosaurs, but it is not known for sure whether this is the truth. Tyrannosaurus rex was a large dinosaur. Not nearly the largest, mind you, but still large by any standards of modern-day wildlife. The dinosaur's length was approximately 12 metres, its height could reach 6 metres, and it weighed anywhere between 5 and 7 tonnes. That weight is the equivalent of about 80 average-sized human beings. If humans had been around back then, we would have been the perfect size for an afternoon snack. The location of T-Rex fossils discovered is very interesting. They have been found in western North America, as far south as Texas and as far north as Alberta, and they have also been found in eastern Asia, mainly in Mongolia. How is this possible? How can fossils be found in such different regions of the world? The answer is what geologists call continental drift. The continents have not always been in the same location. They have shifted, and around the time of T-Rex, western North America and Eastern Asia were connected. This explains perfectly the discovery of the fossils in the different locations. One of the more well-known interesting facts about Tyrannosaurus rex is that it had extremely short arms. They measured only about 1 metre long, which is very short when you consider the size of the dinosaur. To put such small arms in perspective, it would be as if humans had arms that measured only 10 centimetres. What use would they be? Well, that is one of the questions that has led scientists to believe that T-Rex was a scavenger and not a predator. It is very difficult to believe that it could have been an effective predator, with arms being so important for hunting. Another fact that leads scientists to believe T-Rex was a scavenger was its extremely strong sense of smell. This enabled T-Rex to smell carcasses over long distances, giving it a big advantage as a scavenger. On the other side of the argument, T-Rex had very large serrated teeth, which would have been perfect for tearing through the tough skin of other dinosaurs. If T-Rex was a pure scavenger, it may not have required such teeth. Another interesting point about their teeth was that they were replaceable over time. Unlike humans, who grow only 2 sets in a lifetime. Again, this is evidence that they were, at least in part, likely predatory.
That is the end of section 4. You will now have half a minute to check your answers.
All right, students, and again, check those answers. And now that you are at the end of section 4 in the computer-based exam, you'll have about 4 minutes to look over all of your answers in all the sections. So any questions where you might have had difficulty, you want to go back, use your logic, check you won't hear the audio again, but you can sometimes guess or figure out the answers just based on the context. So don't give up if you missed a question, okay? And also check for spelling mistakes for words that you've written, obviously. Check for capitalization. Make sure that every name that you wrote down uses a capital letter, okay? All right. Shaifur says, last 2 questions I didn't get because of an internet issue. Shaifur, that's a perfect example of where you might be able to figure that out without even having heard the audio. Okay. All right. So let's take a look. Here we go. Section 4. Okay. So here the focus is 65 million years ago. And here I took some notes. You saw me writing some notes here. You probably saw me write T-Rex, and then died, and then asteroid. So what happened 65 million years ago? The dinosaurs became extinct? Yep, because I wrote the dinosaurs died. The Tyrannosaurus rex came into existence? No. Sounds like it came into existence long before then. Tyrannosaurus rex died? Yeah, makes logical sense because T-Rex is also a dinosaur. A large asteroid hit the Earth. Yes, I think that's why they all died, right? It's all connected. So it's 1, 3, and 4. 1, 3, and 4 would be C. C is the correct answer. And it looks like Harjat and Alexei and Shivani all came to the same conclusion. Same with Rustam and Fuang. Very nice. Okay. Right? Again, logic, right? There's a lot of logic there. Okay, number 32. Tyrannosaurus rex lived during which time? A. Jurassic. B. Late Cretaceous. C. Late Triassic. Correct answer is B. Late Cretaceous. Students, be careful. Do not get your information from Hollywood movies that are not documentaries. Okay? Hollywood movies are for entertainment and for fun. They're not for facts. Okay, the reason why it's called Jurassic Park is because it sounds good. People will more likely go to watch a movie called Jurassic Park than if you called it the Late Cretaceous Park. Hey guys, let's go watch the Late Cretaceous Park on the weekend. The what? So let's call it Jurassic Park. Okay, dinosaurs didn't even live during that time. That's okay. Sounds cool. All right, let's do it. Won't that confuse all the children? They'll think dinosaurs lived during the Jurassic period. But they didn't. Okay, so... yeah, no, unfortunately, not true. But it sounds good. It's sellable. You can sell it more easily, right? Alexi says movies, I hate them. They tricked you. They got you. Yeah, so late Cretaceous, okay? If you do a little bit of reading about dinosaurs, you find out a lot of interesting facts that are very, very different from what you see in the movies. Of course, right? Because in the movies, they sell you this interesting concept of dinosaurs, not the facts, right? Okay. All right. So, how tall was the Tyrannosaurus Rex? Now, a question like this should remind you to visualize. You should see the T-Rex, okay? That's why I tried to draw a picture of the T-Rex, okay? And the speaker says the height was around 6 meters. Could you imagine? Whew, that would be scary standing next to that beast. Yeah, 6 meters. So 33B. Very good. Yes, absolutely. Okay. It makes sense that it was longer than tall, right? So here it is again. Had these little tiny arms. Because it needs to balance, right? If it was super tall and narrow, it would probably like tip over unless you're a human. Okay, but humans kind of tip over sometimes. Okay, here we go. Write no more than 2 words. The theory which explains why fossils are found in very different regions of the world is called... Now, when you have a difficult answer like this, pay attention to this. The speaker enunciates it. They say, well, the theory that explains this is called, and then they slow down, and then they say it. Okay? Very good, Fuang. It's continental drift. And yes, students, for band 9 on IELTS listening, you need to know vocabulary like this. Or you need to be able to catch vocabulary like this even if you don't know it. Okay? Continental drift. It's the name of a theory, so you can definitely use capital letters. Okay? If you don't, there is a chance that you will get that wrong because it's called continental drift, right? As soon as you hear that it's called or the title is, you should immediately be thinking, capital letters are smart here. Okay? Yeah, if you misspelled it, Black Panther, it would be wrong. Yeah. Okay. All right, 34 or 35 to 40, it was slightly maybe easier. You just had to really pay attention to evidence, implication, conclusion. So the T-Rex had extremely short arms. That's right. So short arms, right? And we know that. I mean, that part of the movies and the pictures is true. T-Rex had these little tiny arms. Right? Arms are important for hunting. Yeah, we can grab and hug and wrestle, choke, right? So if you've got little tiny arms, you imagine getting into a fight with your friend? I don't like you. Yeah, stop clawing my face. Not so effective. I don't think boxing would be a very popular sport if we had little tiny arms like the T-Rex. Hey, let's watch a boxing match. Bing, 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 bing. I think he scratched him. Wasn't a knockout, but I think he got him with a scratch. So conclusion. Conclusion, I'm very visual. Be visual. Life is fun when you're visual, right? Imagining a boxing match between 2 T-Rex dinosaurs. Oh, look at that uppercut. Bing! So yes, the answers are given here. You just have to look carefully. So those extremely short arms means that the dinosaur was probably a scavenger. And if you copy this exactly, capital letters and everything, you're probably going to get it right because the exam gave it to you, the same word. Okay? Chayani says, that was me fighting with my brother. Bing, 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 bing. Right? Okay. All right. Strong sense of smell, able to detect carcasses from long what? If you can have a very good sense of smell from long distances. That's right. Fun fact for you, we're kind of coming close to the end of this class anyway. So as many of you know, I live in Victoria, which is on Vancouver Island. It's a big island, 600 kilometers long, about 200 kilometers wide. And we've got lots of black bears. Black bears, like the T-Rex, have a very strong sense of smell. A carcass means a dead animal. Here we have lots of salmon. Salmon's a nice big fish that lives in the ocean. It's very delicious. Fun fact, here's a little bit off topic, but these fun facts when you're practicing listening at home can help you to enjoy your learning and to really kind of hold information and learn vocabulary. So here's a fun fact. Take a guess. A black bear can smell a fish, a salmon, from how far away if the wind is blowing towards them? If they've got a bit of wind coming towards them, what do you think? How far away can a black bear smell a dead fish? Just for fun. So probably these dinosaurs were pretty good too because they're big, right? And big noses. Alexi says 1 kilometer. Chaitali says 50 meters. Fuang says 100 meters. Now, hint, everybody, I can smell a dead fish from 100 meters. The bear's nose is 1,000 times better than a dog's. Just think about that. So, black bear's nose is very good, Bogdan. 50 kilometers. Yes, that's the answer. So, Bogdan's got it. Okay, black bears can smell a dead fish from 50 kilometers. So that's why if you're ever visiting Western Canada and you go camping, don't leave your food in your tent. Okay? The bear does not have to be in the tree beside you to get you. So that's why they tell you when you're a tourist in British Columbia, take your food out of your tent and move it far away from your tent and people at nighttime so you don't have an unexpected visitor in the middle of the night. So black bears can smell a dead fish from 50 kilometers away with right wind conditions. Okay. Philo, I could tell you lots of black bear stories, but maybe another time. Not only have I seen one, I have also hunted black bears and tasted black bears. We have lots of them here. Okay. So yes, I am very familiar with black bears. Okay, let's get back to this. We've got a few more questions. Oh, Anahita, they can smell them in the water too. Yeah, okay. All right, so here we go. They have large serrated teeth, the T-Rex, not black bear, although black bears also kind of have serrated teeth. Serrated teeth means the teeth are like this. So this is the mouth, okay? Serrated means they're like that. Like a shark. Okay, very scary, right? That's a serrated teeth. Okay. All right, so they're able to tear through, number 38, Fuang, very good, skin. Able to tear through skin. And that means that they are, number 39, Oh, Frost Chen, it says, I heard bear meat tastes awfully bad. Some do, Frost, if they eat fish, but the black bears where I live eat blueberries. The ones that live in the mountains, they eat wild blueberries. So you can imagine the taste of their meat is not so bad. You are what you eat. Those mountain bears around here are like giant blueberries. Okay, so number 39, predator. That's right, makes sense. Okay, very good. So predator. Again, if you copy what's given, okay. All right, and then number 40, did not have to be careful with their teeth. Why not? Because their teeth were replaceable. That's right. Now you gotta get the spelling right. Not replicable, replaceable. Like that. Replace and able. Okay? So able to replace, replaceable. Okay? All right, students, how did you do? If you were in the listening class last week as well, you can count your total from 40 and we can figure out your band score. Okay? So Harjot says you got 34. Now here, I'll show you where you can see your band score. So again, if you go to the website, at the very bottom, you won't see this in the screen, but if you open aehelp.com, Chen, maybe you can throw that into the, if you're still here, into the chat. At the very bottom of the website, there is a score calculator. And score calculator will let you enter your raw score. So Harjot says 34. Harjot, that would be a 7.5. Okay, Bogdan says 37. That would be an 8.5. Okay. Dhirendra says 36. That would be an 8. Fong says 35. That would also be an 8. Nipa says 32. That would be a 7.5. Black Panther says 28. That's a 6.5. Donzi says 20. That would be a 5.5. Okay. So add them up. Check them out. Chen, thank you for putting that in. So that's the score calculator. The raw score conversions are different for academic reading and general IELTS reading. So make sure you're on the correct website. For listening, I believe it's the same. So you don't need to worry about that. So check it out. It's at the bottom of the website, everybody. It's there for you, okay? The websites, again, are aehelp.com for academic IELTS, and you can click any of these big red buttons to join our premium IELTS package and get all the tests, all the listening, all the audio. Doesn't cost a lot. You can use the code READ9 from our latest YouTube release to get an extra 10% off. Cool, right? One-time payment, lifetime access. In different countries, it's a different price to match your local economy. Nipa says, I enjoyed today's class. Nipa, I did too. Thank you for being here with me. Students, tomorrow I am back with speaking, part 2, part 3. So join me for that, okay? It'll be fun. We'll talk to students. We'll learn strategies. We'll practice our English. Chen, thank you so much for moderating. That was awesome. I appreciate that. Have a wicked start to your weekend. Slang means have fun. Have a good start. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Enjoy life. That's what we're here for. We're here to enjoy it. It's your choice to do that, and that's what you should choose to do. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful British Columbia here, the capital city, Victoria in Canada, and I hope to see you all tomorrow. Bye for now, everybody.